Alright, so I'm planning on doing a life-sized bust, female bust. I'm not going to say who it's of yet. We'll see what happens. But basically the way I start these things generally is with a quarter-inch metal pipe from the hardware store, with the different flanges and connectors that you get. I put a little ball of stuff around paper towel or something around the top so the top doesn't have just a pipe sticking out and something to sit on. And then down here I'm just trying to fill it out with something to help take away some of the weight. I'm going to be using wet clay, so it's going to get it's water-based. It's going to get real heavy real fast. So anyway, as I progress, I will take some more video. A little bit of an update. I've only worked on this about 2.5, 3 hours. I'm getting just sort of the basic shapes roughed out. I'm figuring out where the eyes will go, and I'll put the teeth in and things like that, even though you won't see very much of it. But just getting the basic rough out shape. Alright, another 2 hours or 3 hours, about 3 hours in. Looking human, anyway. I'll get the likeness. She's getting there. Alright, a few more hours in. I probably should figure out, it might be more interesting to see like a time-lapse sort of thing, but I have no idea how to do that, so it's moving along. At this point, it's adding a little bit of clay and moving it around and taking it back off. And I had heard somebody say once that every human face is the same within a few millimeters, so we all have kind of the eyes in the same spot, and the nose and the mouth and the ears and all the landmarks and stuff, but it's just those few millimeters that make us look like who we are and make us look like somebody other than who we are. So just finding those right few millimeters to add or subtract or move around. Alright, I think we're getting pretty close. I like where Caroline's how the portrait's coming. Yeah, I think it really does look like her. So lots of little things to finish yet. Obviously, I got to smooth out the whole torso. Obviously some rough areas here and things like that. This is all I just got to get all the tool marks out, and then I can start kind of adding in some skin details and pore texture and that sort of thing. I worked for quite a while on the back yesterday. Piece of string on there, but I think the musculature of that looks pretty good. So yeah, so coming along. Alright, last part. The Caroline Munro sculpture is done. I'm going to assume that people are, if somebody buys one, they're going to put hair on it, so I went ahead and signed it on the back of her head. But I think she turned out pretty well, and the likeness came much more quickly than I had expected. This is the scope of the whole thing. So easy enough to put her in like a Captain Kronos kind of a costume, or Dracula AD 1972 costume. Or even Golden Voyage of Sinbad costume, or At the Earth's Core costume, or just leave her on natural. If you're single. So, anyway, thanks for looking. If you're ever interested, I am on Instagram at Bootiki Jeff, BOOTIKI Jeff, and I'm always posting progress photos and different things there. So, thanks for looking.